back on. It's fine.
KEIB Los Angeles. This is the Patriot, AM 1150, broadcasting throughout the Southland and all over the world on iHeartRadio.
It's been a rough morning at airports across America. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Got on the plane, everyone put their luggage on, sat down, went through the usual process. The gate.
Well, then they got called back to the gate in Philadelphia, taken off the plane because of an FAA computer outage affecting flights everywhere.
Now it's all backed up. This is insane, man. This gonna be traumatizing.
He's trying to fly out of Chicago's O'Hare. Fox Business Network's Grady Trill is there and says the order to ground all flights was lifted about 2 hours ago.
But that does not mean everything is back to normal. Far from it. We're seeing that ripple effect of delays and cancellations all across the country.
FlightAware reports 6,000 delays. What caused the outage still being investigated.
Is called the Notice to Air Missions, or NOTAM. It alerts pilots and airline personnel to issues at specific airports across the country. Visibility problems, runway closures.
There are reports the Biden administration is going to extend the COVID public health emergency declaration until April as a new Omicron variant spreads. The World Health Organization wants us to consider masking up again on airplanes.
All flights from areas where there is the XBB 1.5 subvariant accounted for more than a quarter of coronavirus cases in the US last week. Current vaccines protect well against severe disease.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. A break between storms. Who was trying to clean up damage across California, where at least 17 people died in the bad weather.
In Sacramento, widespread flooding. 2 levees in Sacramento County forcing evacuations toward the Northern California coast. Days of heavy rain and high winds knocked out power for thousands, toppling trees and causing mudslides. No part of the state has been spared.
Fox Weather's Max Gordon in Monterey, north of San Francisco. America's listening to Fox News.
It's Jesse Kelly. I can't afford to lose 30% of my 401k or IRA again, and I'm assuming you can't. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick your metals. That's it. You now own precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today to learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan. 833-404-GOLD, 833-404-GOLD.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking... What will you do with it? Will you make something better? Or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel V Pro that's built for business, call the Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
I wanted to know why some get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by
someone knowing you'll always care, someone who lights your way each and every day. Doing what you love is everything, so we can celebrate the joy it brings. There's so much to protect in our lives. That's why Nation is on your side.
Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates, Columbus, Ohio.
Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. CalHope can help. Access CalHope's free and secure mental health resources. Call 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org.
In a world where he can make your worst nightmare become real. Feel real fear like never before.
I think I've felt it before.
What? I said never before.
It sounds like every other horror movie trailer, man.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Hey, here's some real milk to relax that monster voice.
Thanks, but this is my real voice, dude.
What?
Delicious. Hey, dude, this movie is horrible. Let's wrap it up. Get real.
loud, Mel.
By now, you know that sound. It's the sound of the Home Depot. What about those sounds? Those sounds of an LG wash tower. Ultra large capacity, serving up a powerful yet gentle clean in 29 minutes. Making this the sound of savings on the best appliance brands. The Home Depot. How doers get more done. Get up to 25% off the LG wash tower with ultra large capacity and reduced wash time. Pricing valid January 5th through January 25th, 2020. US only. See store or online for details.
At the UPS store, we have everything. You need mailbox services, we'll be the mailbox store.
The UPS store. Be unstoppable. The UPS store locations are independently owned. Product, services, pricing, and hours may vary. See Center for details.
Science proves quality sleep is vital to your mental, emotional, and physical health. The Sleep Number 360 senses your movements, automatically adjusts to help keep you both effortlessly calm and its temperature. So you stay cool, so you're at your best for yourself and those you care about most. Life-changing sleep, only from Sleep Number. The Queen Sleep Number 360 C2 Smart Bed is only save $200, plus free home delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com.
This is Jacob Emrani. If you've been involved in a motorcycle accident, call 844-24-JACOB.
Of the band, but to the Glenn Beck program, we're going to bring Justin Haskins back in. He is the co-author of The Great Reset, my book that came out a year ago today. We want to talk a little about the progress that has been made, but more importantly, some things that are coming our way no matter what happens. We need to be prepared for it. Justin is not only the co-author of The Great Reset, but also the new book that is coming out. We've got a sequel to The Great Reset. It's nameless because it's just like, if you thought the last one was bad, but I don't think that's a really catchy title. We'll talk to him and what's going on in just a second. First, it's a new year. Things you want to change in your life is a stress level. Maybe you should start with the stress you feel with your car. What plan do you have if you're out of warranty? Your car breaks down. All kinds of stress. Nobody, I don't care if you just got a big tax refund, which is not a gift from the government. They were holding your money. Anyway, nobody ever says, oh, perfect time for my car to break down. I don't ever want to spend money on my car. CarShield, when you're broken down on the side of the road, all the way to writing the check for anything that has happened. If it's covered, you don't even have to front the money, nothing. You just have to call them up, get the car towed into the into whatever service center you want. It could be the dealership, mechanic, and they take care of all the rest. CarShield.com/Beck. Save money now. 20% off your plan. CarShield.com/Beck or 227-6100. 800-227-6100. CarShield.com. Beck. Okay. Justin, welcome.
Good morning, Glenn.
Happy anniversary.
I got you an anniversary gift.
Oh, you did?
I did, because I learned from mistakes in my personal life that you always give a gift on anniversary. So now, I'm not going to go into details about it because...
just now.
Yeah, I know. It's a gift. This is a gift for you. You know, the last time I said, so what do you get Glenn back, right? The last time I saw you, you were showing me a stuffed rat with a bomb that had been put up its butt. Right, yeah.
By Ian Fleming.
By Ian Fleming, I know. That's the important part. So you get a guy with a stuffed rat with bombs up their butt. This is what you get him, okay? This is from the exotic...
Of Klaus Schwab.
It's Klaus Schwab.
Oh, how great is that?
I couldn't find... I said, what am I going to get Glenn Beck? He doesn't have. Is an autograph picture of Klaus Schwab.
How did you get
It turns out that Klaus Schwab is not a very, humble man. Yeah, well, not a humble man. I tell you, this is what I really wanted to get you, though. Yeah. There was a book. There's a book. So when Klaus Schwab wrote one of his books, Great Reset or whatever, he signs copies, and of course, because he's a very humble guy, he signs them on it and sends it to all world leaders, okay? Because they want to read his book. So he sent one to Emmanuel Macron, okay, in France. And Emmanuel Macron was so impressed by this that he basically threw it in the trash can. They gave it away, and it ended up at a book dealer. And I wanted it so badly. And somebody bought it, and I was trying to convince him, hey, just tell him name a price. I know someone who might really want this. And
the guy said, no, if you don't want it, then
yep.
Okay.
Spot on. Right. That's exactly what it was like.
Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. They're meeting in Davos, the World Economic Forum. Stuff that's coming out, and they are rewriting the narrative. The reason why we are losing our history and everything is being destroyed is because there's a new narrative, a new storyline of the West that is being done by the World Economic Forum. And we're all going to learn it soon. Talk about it in the new book. You have to understand, they are erasing everything and changing everything. You know that 16%, I think it's 16% of Gen Z is proud that they live in America.
Yeah.
16%.
Much higher than I thought it would be.
There is no America if that's the way, if that doesn't change. There's just no America. But one of the things that you have to understand, we have, first the good news, you've made a huge impact. Huge. I mean, I can guarantee you, Klaus Schwab may not know me or you by name, but he is very well aware of the effects this audience had. Global approach of the Great Reset.
Yes, and I know for a fact that he knows at least us by name. But so we can get into that another time.
Klaus, as you're listening, forget our names.
Yeah, without this. But there's no doubt about a year from right now, and you what people understood about the Great Reset, about ESG, about social credit scoring, compared to today, whether you're talking about influential people, lawmakers, people in media, regular people on the street, everybody knows more. And it is because of this audience. I truly 1000% believe. I cannot tell you how many people, very prominent people, members of Congress, members who said, I heard this from someone who listens to Glenn on the radio, a constituent. Heard it myself on the radio. It makes so many. And that is the problem. Over in Europe, they don't have a Glenn Beck. They don't have somebody who has the audience that can impact it in the EU. So they are now, have they passed it or they're just about to pass it? They are chambers. It's not law yet.
Okay. But it's shortly going to become law in the EU, and there doesn't seem to be any stop on it. And what it is ESG. It's the scoring system. It's about to be codified in the EU. And here's how this is going to affect you. There are about, I can't remember what the standard is that will fall under this umbrella. Ford is one, McDonald's is one.
It's way more than that.
Yeah. American companies?
Yeah, we're talking probably at least hundreds, probably thousands.
I only saw them to about 15. Okay, so here's the effect. If you read the first book, The Great Reset, you know that one of its it affects every company that drives a truck for that company.
They're delivering the goods. Everybody that makes a widget for that company makes paper for program, or they cannot do business with them. Now let's just imagine McDonald's, and this is coming because Europe is adopting the ESG standards.
As law, mandatory.
Mandatory.
Yes.
So every company that does business in Europe will have to adhere to those standards. So think about McDonald's. Every corporation, every company, every mom and pop farmer, potatoes or meat, will have to adhere to the EU standards. Otherwise, you'll lose McDonald's. But it's not just that you have to grow them the way they want grown and adopt their, environmental and social justice standards, but even the potato farmer, anyone who supplies him also has to abide by ESG standards. The tentacles of this thing will change America just because we do business with the EU.
Yes, this is a fundamental of the entire Western world, of all of Europe, Canada, and the United States, essentially overnight. They've already moved it. There's sort of three bodies in the European Union that are involved in lawmaking. Three of them in some degree. Right now, they're just trying to figure out how do we reconcile our slight differences. I've looked at all of them. They're all basically the same with just small changes. And you're exactly right. The way it works is large companies that operate in Europe, which is basically the vast majority of large companies in the United States, have a certain amount of revenue in Europe. That means they have to adhere to the ESG system, which means they have to impose it on everyone in they are, where they work, how large they are, etc.
And if they don't have an ESG score for that company, because the company's like, I'm not doing it, they cannot buy the products. So the score has to be done in America. It has to be done, or you can't do business with, for instance, Ford. Ford doesn't make all of the parts to everything. Doesn't make the rubber, doesn't make the radios, doesn't make the seats. All of that is outsourced. Yes. If that company wants to continue to work with Ford, then they must have a score. They must be EU ESG. And every company they work with also. So you're buying leather from somebody, you're making seats. That leather company, if the leather is working with a farmer to get the raw leather, that farmer,
you could just be the transportation company that transports the leather to the factory. That's part of the supply chain. And so Europe isn't going to be imposing the rules on those people. They're going to be, and then Ford is going to impose it on all of these people down the supply chain. They have no choice. And what they'll do is they'll reach out to all their suppliers, and we know of examples of this happening. I just had a lawmaker tell me this the day before. They know of specific examples of this already starting to occur. But you'll have these big companies, they go to the smaller ones and they say, how many electric cars do you have? How many of this? They have a whole survey of questions. And then depending on how you answer it, they'll say, okay, well, if you want to keep doing business with us, you're going to have to improve X, Y, and Z. Otherwise, you can't do business with us anymore. And that's all from this entire, because it goes up the supply chain. Somebody at the top, whether it's the at some point in the future, or it's BlackRock, who owns most of the shares of the company, or whatever it is, someone is saying you have to enforce this all the way down the line. So this is not just about Ford. It's not just about McDonald's. It is about every other part of the economy that's going to get wrapped up in this. And by the time you count up all the different companies, you need to be forced to adhere to this in Europe, because it's only big companies, 150 million euros or so in revenue in Europe, that are going to be forced to adhere to the specific European Union version of this. But by the time you count them all up and you go down their supply chains, it's basically everybody. And that's the whole point. That's the point. That's why they're doing it. So this is, in my opinion, even though this story everywhere, you gotta listen to shows like this to hear it. You gotta listen to Glenn Beck and The Blaze and places like that. But this is the most important story, period. If you're talking about transforming society, this
told you half of it. We've just told you half of the story. Let me give you the other half. But there's even more that is going to be affected in 60 seconds. Please say gold, silver. Yes, please. Yes, please. And go back and listen if you missed any of them. Today's radio. You go back and listen to hour number 1. I talked about what is coming. We are at the point now where there are no Fed. You either have to print money or you have to make things very, very painful to stop inflation. They're not going to do that. They're not going to suck the money back in because the stock market will collapse. So they'll just inflate the money. And if they go the other way, we now have the end of the petrodollar. Saudi Arabia and Russia, they're saying you don't need to use a dollar anymore to buy oil. That's what we were counting on. So at least half of the world will say, I got to get rid of my dollars, okay, because I don't need them anymore. What that will do to inflation is staggering. Please, there are 5 or 6 states now, and find out if yours, 6 states that are verifying that gold is a currency. It's already in our the U.S. Constitution. It is money. It's not a note. It's money. But they are taking away some of the things like, charging to change it into U.S. dollars or use it in stores, gold or silver. Please consider some gold or silver. With every tube of the new quarter-ounce Mayflower Gold Commemorative, you will receive 100 of the same Mayflower copper rounds at no additional cost. Don't wait. Call 866-GOLD-LINE, 866-GOLD-LINE, or goldline.com. 10 seconds, station ID. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but here's the other shoe. This goes up and down the supply chain. So, let's say you're Nestle, which is a giant European company, they buy into their products. That means the American companies have to change. This also means every bank that wants to do business in Europe has got to be on board with ESG. Every bank.
So interestingly, the most recent version draft of this put a carve-out for financial institutions. But they said, we will allow individual countries in the European Union to decide if they're going to enforce that for their companies based in that country.
Of course, the banks aren't going to be hurt by any of this. They're going to love all this. But the other Nestle sells. You can't sell to countries. ESG. You're not supposed to buy or sell.
If you're part of the supply chain in any way, then yes. Now, if you're a customer, they've now tried to change it so that, because in the original one, it was even, you have to look at your customers, essentially.
Right, but if I go to, let's say I'm providing, chocolate milk, I'm Nestle, and I'm going to provide chocolate milk for all the vending machines in all the hospitals. These standards, would it not? Not individuals, but yeah, for the hospital.
Yeah,
big bulk buyers.
I believe so. Yes, but it depends on the version, and that's one of the things they're arguing about. Yeah, because of exactly what you're saying. But in the most radical, which was proposed by the European Parliament, which is really one of the most important parts of all of this, it's the most far-reaching version. It would be the banks would be included in it. It would be every up and down the supply chain.
And the only reason why they won't do that is because they need people to buy European products.
Yeah.
They don't care if you're going to sell them stuff to make products as much as